fault, contact injury lawyers for you.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon listeners. It's me Suleiman Ben Sware coming on a brief conversation, and if you just bear me a minute, let me share this video and we can start the program. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, listeners. It's me, Suleiman Ben Sware. Today is Sunday, the 4th of July, 2021. The time is just gone about 19 minutes to 3 in the afternoon in Birmingham, England. It's just a brief conversation. As you know, I don't come on regularly or either come on a Sunday. But this conversation is quite important, and I am planning to speak about security tomorrow. That's why I decided to come in today, just to have this brief conversation with my koto, Musa Drammeh, the Minister for Local Government and Lands. I know people have come across. I was actually alerted of a speech that the local government minister made, stating actually that I have made statements that are not factual, and the statements in regards to him trying to influence Al-Kalulu to benefit themselves by registering people who are not supposed to register in the elections. And I would go into details how all this came about, and I would probably just say something a little bit about myself, because people keep on wondering how I get my own information, or why I do what I do. Is it partisan, or what interest do I have? I will explain that in a minute. What is all this about? It's simple. He chooses his moment. I made these statements about before registration. He chooses his moment, but he chooses a platform, which is very significant. He uses a platform to address it. He had many platforms he could have addressed. He could have written a letter or anything to the press and rebut what I said. But interested, I have made lots of allegations towards him in person. In the same manner, wrote a post about land dealing and a lot of other allegations about not doing things properly. But he never chose. I did name him, I did put his picture, but he never chooses to respond. Why did he respond to this one? And why did he choose that platform at the State House to respond to what I have said? That's something very important to note. But what did I actually say? What did he actually read? This is not something I said in a program, a passing statement or anything. It was something clearly written. I wrote something clearly, and it's just a small note. And what I said was, and this was the 5th of June, desperation to its highest. Local government minister Musa Drammeh ordered governors to list down all names of Alcalo with their phone numbers and appointment date through their chief before Monday. It was specific. He wanted it done ASAP. It's nothing, can you get on, do this and deliver it to my office? No, I want it before Monday. That's very important. We'll get to that. These people are desperate criminals who fear leaving office. Nothing can stop the Gambian people from determining their destiny. I said that. I continue. No Alcalos should be intimidated. Hope the stakeholders will stand their ground. If it fails to let the party representative at the registration centers take note of any suspicious registration, and the court shall decide. I made that statement too. I finally said, NPP has no sound structures, capacity or information resource. All they have is the financial resource, which have turned to be toxic. That is why they are disoriented, fighting among themselves to protect their shares. That's what I said. That was the statement I made. Now, why is it important that I made these statements? I'll get to that, but I first made this allegation that this is what happened. The local government minister, have ordered this. And I'm not going to play the interview. I might do that. For benefit of people who have not heard it. He actually accepted, he did that. He accepted that. He contacted the governors to contact the Alcalos. But where I emphasize Monday. Why Monday? Because this was a last minute thought they have. You see, these people, they don't have a build strategy that they follow. They come up with something, it fails, they try something else. They can keep on catching up. That's why I put at the bottom, they have no structure, no capacity, all they have financial resources, and that's all they fighting among themselves. By Monday, because of it was coming very urgent, now they try different things. And we keep on preempting them. How did I know about these things and preempt them? That's why I'm going to do my closing remarks. To preempt it and stop it. Preempt it, stop it, and desperate this time around, he went into this. And you can see why he's frustrated, because when he did that, how did I know? Because the minute he proposed it, this is not, when I came out, it's not even, the instruction have not even got to the governors to say that I got it from a governor. It's from their close-knit. This is what frustrated them. It's his close-knit. When proposed it in the meeting, I came and preempted. And their desperation, I talk about desperation, and he had a problem with that word desperation, that they are not desperate. And I talked, another thing I said, I talk about the Alcalos to hold their ground, and if that fails, the party representative, and I'm going to emphasize on this, the party representative to ensure that voter registration is done right. and other stakeholders. Now, why did they hold this forum? This is to confirm what I'm just amazed and very scared, because we all know this. But imagine if these are the people negotiating our interests to their counterparts in the sub-region, to their counterparts in the international community, to dealing with businesses and so on. If they are so much immature, inexperienced, to come out and in fact shoot themselves in the foot. If I was not mentioned, probably most people would not have realized what have gone on. I'm not going to go in how they could have done what they want to do. But look, they could have done certain things that we would not even know. Or it would be late before we can do something about it. But again, because of they don't have what it takes, that's why it's scared. They hold a forum. And what is this forum? Alcalo. Where Combo? Because of, again, they are doing a catching up. Everything has failed. Out of desperation, and they said it. Listen to what they all said. Combo is where you win the elections. The governor said it and other people said it. Now they're trying to capitalize with the last days of registration to try and get as much possible. This is that's why they had the forum. Now, calling me out on that forum made it relevant and brought the facts that, look, these people are desperate. That's why they call me out. These people are onto something. That's what I have said. This is what happened. But what did Musa say himself? And you listen to this. And now, for people that don't understand Mandinka, I might have to explain it. I'll play it, and I hope you can hear it. If not, I'll just go on and do it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, he has admitted that he contacted, he went through the process. That's fine. Now, I know about this. That's why I said they went through the process. Second, he dropped the ball. He said that the reason doing it, these are, Luntangol, I cannot say is foreigner, but this would be guests, people that come from another place to that village. They might be Gambians from another place to this village, but put it in context. Put it in context here. Luntangol, put it in context here. This is what I get from it. Now, we'll get to the base of that, where the facts would be pointing to about elections. For one reason, it's this forum. The entirety of the forum, what all they talk about is about how to win elections, how to get the Alcalde to support the president. Now, it's not about the roles of the Alcalde, what the Alcalde should do for their community. It's about the Alcalde supporting the president, about the president project, about elections. Where did I say something wrong? This is the fact. That's why they're there. But again, why concern now? For generations, Alcaldes have been executing their duties when it comes to receiving guests and so on. What is urgent? Why is it so urgent now? We talked of that guests are coming from other places to the Gambia, that we need an agency to provide resources to the Alcaldes. Unless we have mobilized guests that will be coming. Now we want those guests to be received. Because again, we cannot just house them in government institutions, we cannot just house them in open areas, just as the dictator used to do. No. Now this would be a fact. That this is the reason, this is the motive. Why concern about Luntangol, that strangers or guests, what they coming to Alcalde? What is special? What is happening in the Gambia? No, because of registration is coming. Because if registration is coming, they want these guests to come in. They want to house them. This is why he went on. I preempted. Another point. He said frustration or desperation. But look at that video. All of them. Are they frustrated? Are they not desperate? You can see the frustration in their tone of voice and their expression. For him to call me out, he must be desperate. Because I made lots of allegations against him, personally. But he has never. But this time, he was frustrated because of, this is their survival. They to win elections to stay on. Because they know how, look, as a Democrat, if you do the right things, you just go to elections in the right way. If you lose, you continue to impact in other ways that you can. But no, for them, he is one of the biggest criminals in the country now. The entire Combo lands have been sold. Is that not a fact? Is that not a fact? Under desperation. Now, why call Alcalde? Did they call the Alcalde? What duties do Alcalde have? Do they call the Alcalde because of concern for security? Did they call Alcalde for concern for security in the country? How much did we cry about security? How much did we cry about security, insecurity? Did they mobilize the Alcaldes to talk about them, or talk about security, talk about resources to the Alcalde, or to encourage the Alcalde to be vigilant? I mean, to watch these things. Do they have they done that? No. Another important responsibility of Alcalde, the environment. Have they invited Alcalde to talk about environment? With the roles that Alcaldes can play with their people to deal with environment? No. They have never did that. Have they spoke about land issues? We know Alcalde and land. Have we ever had them invite Alcalde for land issues? No. Have we ever had them call Alcalde to come together to resolve some of the communal issues? No. We have seen the Faraba incident, we have the Dasilame incident, we have seen incident. The Sanyang incident was even the latest. Have they invited stakeholders to talk about these things? No. The rainy season issue, have they talked about that? Have they invited the reigning Alcalde to talk about the rainy season? No. They have not. They have no interest in these things. Are they talking about projects? Are they, because all those things fail. The projects fail. Now they don't want to talk about the roads anymore. The road builder, the bridge builder, because of what? What the Chinese did is that. But what they have taken for themselves, taking our money to spend, they all broke. They all collapse. The five ecology that they're trying to put in before elections, they all broke. They won't talk about those things because it's all about corruption and incompetence. They won't talk about them. Now they want to distract us. Now they're trying to still do anything to steal the election, distract us, to divide us along tribal lines. They don't mind the insecurity. They don't mind the compromise of our sovereignty to give all the people to have a right, to have access to something they don't have a right to. They don't care about that. They don't care. Because for them, they have taken care of their immediate family. They pay for them to go to America and other places to have education, other things. Let the social, I mean, they're not even investing in schools and hospitals. Now, even you give these people more rights to our resources, means that if they have a voting card and ID card, they can go to our healthcare system without paying what. Why do we think that we ask other people to pay a little bit more? They don't care about all this. We look at that. Now they offered salary to alcalos. What did I say? Now, why offer salary to alcalos now? Is elections are approaching? Look, we are not stupid. We are not stupid. Why offer a salary to alcalos? To, again, buy them out. After 4 years of government, why? How does that work? They will say anything right now. They're desperate. They will think the combo. Now, try and get the combo. Combo, how do we want to get the combo? By what? Try to, now, because of the, they cannot have the amount of foreigners they try to register because of the vigilantes. They didn't do that. Now, they're trying to get the, they're trying to get the, they're trying to get what do you call it, some of the foreigners within the country, and I will bring another proof to that. Or they're trying to use kids that are not of age, and these are the kind of things they want to do. And they don't care about the risk that poses. If you tamper with elections, and it starts from registration. Nobody steals the election. Mostly elections are not stolen at the day of election. It's before. And we'll explain that. These are the things that bring out election violence. Security is about governance. If you have insecurity, it means governance fail. It's not the action that the police do. That's part of it. That's a contingency plan. That's a deterrent. But security is managed. And it's part of governance. It's not of its own. It's part of what government do. Because there are a lot of things that are entailed in order to allow, this job creation, other things and other things. But that's not their interest. Now, let's come to Barrow. Why I come to Barrow is to further cement my argument against my koto, Musa Drammeh. Barrow have confirmed the frustration again. We've all seen Barrow, how shaken he is, how angry he is. We expect Barrow, you see, emotions, look, emotions are right to be expressed, but they have to be in the right context. We would have expect Barrow to come out angry, to say that why do we have so much women dying in our hospital? Angry, shaken. You see, we would have understand that. We would have understand to say why ministries have not delivered on certain things that were meant to be delivered that government have prepared. We have meant to see him get angry of the level of corruption in that country. But no. The guy doesn't have passion for all that. Only have passion for Barrow stepping down. scared of stepping down, desperate to hold on to power, because that's all he has. He's desperate. That's why I'm telling Gambians to be very careful. A desperate, person in as a head of state, we have to be very careful. Barrow have confirmed this, the frustration, the desperation. But not only that, Barrow have again appealed to Al-Khalil for support. For support. You see, again, that's why this attestation nonsense and everything have to stop in that country. We have to try and do things right. If you said that your minister appoints an Al-Khalil, your minister can sack that Al-Khalil, and you think that appointment is not political? Do we know that that amendment was made by the dictator in order to have control over Al-Khalils, control over chiefs? Why? For this, incumbency. That's what they call the incumbent power, to use it. But another thing, Barrow too talked about the incentive, salary. They did not talk about anything else. They talk about elections. That's what I accuse them of, trying to influence the Al-Khalil. But God is great. God is good. They came out and confirmed it on their own platform at the State House. By the way, where's Ahmad Ba? By the way, where's Ahmad Ba? We'll come to that again. Another point, very important. Again, that's where I am scared. This is the government. These are the people that represent our interests to negotiate with their counterparts. A president coming out to say statements like, Sidat Diop went to the embassy, Senegalese ambassador, and talked traditionally with a high-powered delegation to influence the ambassador, for the ambassador to write to stop their citizens interfering in our elections. How can you dare say that? Stopping a crime. But the frustration, the desperation, that's why he's doing it. You know, it's just like a witch. What we Wolof call Jafur. You just come and confess. The guy is stopping me from stealing his property. Why could you confess to that? Now, he's talking about the Senegal, and he said, Senegal being, why Senegalese ambassador? With all the ambassadors say, why Senegalese ambassador? Our more strategic partners. Strategic partners? Yes. But do you know if you allow, hundred thousands or 10, how many thousands of Senegalese to register who are not supposed to register to vote, do you know what that means for your national security? Do you know? No. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. But what did Sidat Diop do wrong? Nothing. He did right. And that's what we advocate for. To do things right, the right way. Not to take the laws into your hands. Go and speak to the ambassador and ask for it. And it was effective. That's why he was angry. Because the minute the communique went out, it did not only affect Senegalese, because they are the majority in that country. Coming to, people from the countries, foreigners. It not only affect those people staying away, but the other West African nationals influence their staying away. Oh, this is now getting serious. Even our ambassadors are saying this. This is what we expect. I thought even they should have done it further. There is something they call in every country, there's someone among the ambassadors, there's someone that represents them. That to go to the person to make the statement, in fact, and everything, they could have done that. But the frustration again. And what do they want? The desperation they want to stay on. Electoral monitoring. Electoral monitoring. That's a right for every citizen. That's a right for every CSO. That's a right for every political party. And it's good because if you monitor, if you are vigilant, I'm not saying vigilantism in the form of taking the laws into your own hands. To do it right, you have the right to go anywhere. You have the right to supervise. Yes, there are rules and procedures to follow. There's ways to do things. Stopping a crime from being done. Prevention is better than cure. We don't expect to say, okay, let's open the floodgates and expect everything to be dealt with at the revised court. That's silly. That's silly. How many days the revised court is going to sit? How many revised courts are going to operate? Why would I do that? Do we say that we know someone is going to burgle your house? Oh no, let them burgle and take things away, then we go and find them and take them to the courts. Do we do that? You see, we have to understand the why do we do things, and I'll get to that. Because I want to do this brief. I'm not talking about security today, I'll talk about security tomorrow if I can. I'm quite busy these days. But why do I care? People will notice that it's like I have an obsession, especially when it comes to registration and voter fraud. When I decided to do something more, because I'm telling Gambians, there's nothing like, anybody can date their struggle. That's when they're conscious of this is when my struggle started. I start my struggle 95, 96, 97, no. Some of us were so conscious that we started a struggle when we are. And I tell you, if you define what the struggle means, every Gambian or every person start a struggle from infant. You just have to define that. But what I mean is, when I decided to use my capacity, my experience as an intelligence operative to impact, to complement others, I did my review, assessments. How do we impact? What can I do to these things? And looked at, what do we have? What resources do we have? What do we do? How do we do things? Identify the weakness, the strength, in all areas, the dictator, us, the opposition, us, the diaspora, us, CSOs, and come with a strategy. And I recognize, look, the only way we can bring out Gambians, the only thing that will take a dictator out is not democratic elections. No. Anybody who said we took the election, no. We used the election as a vehicle. What we did was people's power. How do you do people's power? You have to get them to unite. Create a critical mass. You cannot create a critical mass in a dictatorship. It's expensive because of the brutality that will come into it. What do? You trick the dictator on his own game. What the dictator loves most? Elections. Because why is it important? It will give him legitimacy. So that if you attack him, you have broken a law because he's elected. That's why they change from, okay, we have to have elections to legitimize themselves. Now, what do Gambians participate in is elections. Now, how do you get Gambians around? It's through elections. Now, what's the point of going to elections if you can't win elections? You ask yourself, why we don't win elections? We don't win elections because it's not level. Now, what are the proofs? How is it not level? You invest time and resources. It costs to find out. And when you do that investigation, find out all these things, what do? You understand the operational systems. You cannot undermine a system without knowing the operational system. And knowing the operations of everything now, what can you do? What do you have to do? You have to get that out. How do you do that? The most cost-effective way. You design how you're going to do that, and other things follow. I personally took it on myself for a period of time to think about these things, work it out, travel, invest my own money, nobody's, to do this for my country, to impact. That's the best I can impact. And get everything. Now I have to use my expertise for resource mobilization. I cannot do it. I don't have the capacity to do the other things. I've got this is my capacity, I'm doing that. Now I have to bring people around. Did that. And Gambians sacrificed for that. Gambians within the APRC, Gambians with different institutions that know about these things. That some of them played a role in enabling the dictator to do this. Some of them were tricked to pass us information. Other things happen as we do our thing. But the most important thing is, with all the risk associated, 6 young soldiers decided to sacrifice their life, their family, and everything to go and get rid of that stash of 300,000 election votes. I am saying votes, I'm not saying cards. Let's leave it to that. To do that, in order for us to have this government. Now this government is saying that we should not be vigilant, to take out and self-defense. That's self-defense. You think I would know that you have a gun coming to kill me, and I'll have to wait for you to shoot in order for me to react? Or if I have any means to take that gun away from you, I'll do it in the most cost-effective way, in the most legitimate way I can. That's what brought us this government. If we had left the system, now after taking out that thing, we have an opportunity to do everything right again. You think we should sit down and leave that system to come back again? For Barrow to replicate it? I made a program and I explained so much about how these things are done. I said, look, we are not going to allow Barrow to do this because we know how it is done. And we're going to do something to disrupt it. The most effective way. And we did. It's not entirely finished. We're still in the process. But I do much as I can. Other people do their bit. The much I do is share my knowledge, advocate for it, encourage people to do the right thing within the law. That's what I do. Let me stop this. Within the law. Now, how did I get this information? How did I get this information or these informations? The reason I want to just touch on this is people, because as I said, I am always vindicated because the evidence will come. And when I say it, people would be thinking this. How did he know? It was only Barrow with 3 other people. It was only Musa Drammeh with four other people. He lives in England. I've not traveled to Gambia for 6 years now. How do I know these things? How do I get it right? That's why I said that's my background. That's my background. When I left the Gambia, lived in the UK, I've worked for contract consultants on intelligence here. All the countries I've worked in, I've not traveled to one of them. probably the Mano River, the Sierra Leone, Liberia, these things, Guinea, probably I've been to those countries passing by or something like that. But other countries, I've never even traveled. I've never been to Nigeria, but I know I could impact. Because that's what I'm trained to do. I don't have to travel to those countries, especially a country I'm born in, brought up, have families and everything. We all interlinked. Expect that information cannot be extracted is the easiest thing that they can do. Because we just share even a little in the open. What we have and deal with in the bag to prevent, preventative, to avoid conflict. Because it's not, that's what we can do and improve our democracy. Why do I do what I do? Look, I do me, Suleiman, I do me. Anything I get into, I always think about my integrity, think about my safety, think about the safety of people that I would involve, my family, and the impact that would do. I'm very responsible. Yes, risk will be taken, but the risk will be worth it. I've never involved anyone that did not know what they go in for. I have never paid anyone to go into something that carries a risk. No. If you go into a risk, you do it for wanting to do it. And these are part of the qualities, the principles that guide why things are done successful. It's what motivates the operation. The desire to do it, not because someone paid you to do it. I have never, I said it online, I've never been paid by anyone. I've never been given money by anyone to do anything or be part of anything. I take my heart and cash to put. If anyone puts in anything, they put it to it, not to me, not through me. My account, nobody puts money in it for those things. You put it there, you give it there, somebody else deals with it. My integrity. I don't need someone's money. I have never borrowed or taken anybody's property without returning or abiding by the agreement or the contract. No. I have never signed up to a political party, and I have no intention for the foreseeable future to sign up to a political party. If I would be with any political party, I will be among the leaders of the political party. The reason is, it's not about arrogance. It's my personality. I do things that I have control over. Because when I am involved in something, I give it my all. Why would I give it my all when I don't have control over that? I resigned from the Gambian National Army a year before end of my contract. And I pressed on that. I was incarcerated for 2 weeks to be taken through the process, and I was ready to be court-martialed because I refused to serve. And that was 1992, because I foresee what was coming, because that was my background. And I didn't want to take part in that, because I would not have control over the outcomes. I take control over, I left that, and I took the risk, and I was discharged. And I went and did my own thing, how I can control it. That's why I'm doing that. Why I do it for myself, for my country. I did not plan to leave the United Kingdom in next 3 years. I did not plan to leave the United Kingdom until my early retirement. But then nobody think that I plan to look for a job after December. No, I'm saying it here. I did not plan to leave the United Kingdom until my early retirement period in 3 years' time. Then I will evaluate if it's possible for me to retire early, to go and follow my passion. I have no motivation to lie because nobody pays me. I'm not part of any political structure. I'm not looking for a job from anyone. Do you know why? I want to hold on my independence. My independence. I swear to Allah, I don't want to take any job or put myself into any situation that my basic responsibilities I cannot discharge to my family. And if I don't want to put myself into that, because I swear to Allah that I don't want to take a penny from the state, and even to use a loophole to say that, okay, this job, the salary is not this thing, but I have incentive. What incentive do I have? I can travel to make money. No, haram. I won't do that. My decency is more than that. If I had to take any job, I'll do it well. I don't take jobs to make money. Then I would have been in business. I have a good sense for business. I am not passionate about that. I'm passionate about impacting. And my next career choice is how I impact. If it ends up to be in politics, by that time, it will be in politics. Right now, what I do is to try to support the democracy. I don't say the most I would love to do is to impact, as I said, especially working for my country. And I'll do that in any capacity that I can impact. I don't go into the job because how much it will pay me, but how much I can impact. If a government happens after December and they call up for my expertise, I sit here and I can give my expertise. I am not looking for any position. I'm not going to Gambia, to take a job, for Gambian salaries and to expect incentives or no. Other people are comfortable enough to take those salaries and they're able to do the job. And if they need support, I'll do that support. To take it out there, I'm not interested. Why? Why is this important? Because I want people to take serious what I say. Because what I say and do is about the national interest and especially on stability. Over the years, that's what I did, work for other countries, help them out, work for companies to help them out to get into countries that they can be safe, they can do their job, their people can be safe to come out. I left that because of some unethical practice that those companies do. I'm not comfortable. Just as when I left the army, I stopped selling cigarettes because of it was not ethical to me. It's not about religion. Don't take me. At that time, I was doing things that are against my religion. It's not about religion. I was not happy about it. Just as I left the butchery because of I had to run a butchery. I left that because of some unethical, and I could not stand people coming there to and other things. It wasn't. I stopped Forex. I was very good at that. Forex. I have access to people that give you inside information in trading for a foreign currency in that country. I have access to people that can give you physical cash to go and trade and return with the kickback. I left that. It's not ethical. I do whatever it takes to live my ethical life. And it's not about religion. I do things the way I do. Because in some of the information I have, it's not something I share. And that's what shaped how I implement my strategy, how I do my things is because of some of the information I have. And they are of security nature, and they inform me in order to do it how I do it effectively. Yes, I always go for the government. And I'll tell you, even though I go for the government, in many aspects, I advise individuals that work for the government to do things better. Yes, I do. Just as I interact with different diverse people in different walk of life in Gambia. I don't hold back myself because my interest is collectively. I cannot impact alone. I have to my information to share, and we impact together. It's not for me. I don't monetize what I do for many reasons. You think I can be controversial? I can be controversial. I know controversy it can be monetized. But I am not interested. I do to level. Why do I go for government? It's the incumbency. Because I understand what the outcome I'm looking for. I want to level things. There's no political party, opposition, that says I go directly for you. No. I hold them accountable by asking questions. I do it deliberately. I don't go for no opposition party. I'm not interested in that. I hold them accountable and I talk to them. Be it UDP, be it PDOIS, be it GDC, be it other small political parties that just registered, or some people before even they register. Be it some people within APRC, not the APRC, within APRC to try to influence them to see the good. Some people within NPP to influence them to see good. They have the right to participate. But if anyone expects me to be narrow-minded, to be bipartisan, no. I see the common good, and that's why I try to measure. If people have their scores to settle, let them settle it. I'm too mature for that. I interact with people. I have families. I have everything else. But my friends are not those people on social media. My friends are those people that know me, and I know them, and we are of the same wavelength. What we do or this thing, it doesn't come on social media. It's what we do as friends. What we do as friends. On that note, what I'm telling Gambians, democracy. We can bring about change. Change will happen. Change will happen. The transformation is the question. Whether the change is going to benefit. That's what we should always even look for. How do we transform? Change will happen. We can stop change. But to transform, we have to do that. We have to put inputs to transform. Gambia, be it UDP, be it NPP, they want you to believe that there are only two boys in town. Now, is that a fact? At present, yes. Why is it so? Because other parties are not challenging that status quo. And there can be a third way. And Gambia would be better off to have a third way. It's more competitive. Democracy should be competitive. We all hold each other accountable to be competitive. Only accountable is not to be insulted. No, you hold accountable many ways. A third way can be happening. We can work for a third way. It might be in many ways. It might be a coalition of other parties. You have the NPP, you have the UDP, you have coalition of other parties. And Gambia will be better off. But why would Gambia will be better off? Whoever comes out would have to work hard by impressing onto the voters to come out with better policies, better information, whatever it is, and strategies to win. And if you can win out of it, that competitiveness, you go into government prepared. Not complacency, not by default. And what will happen is we will have a vulnerable opposition. Because we always, a good politician is the politician that is all accountable. A good politician is the politician who accountable. A good government is the government that's whole accountable. Why Jawara failed or the PPP failed? It was when they marginalized civil society, they marginalized the opposition. They have no opposition. Now, what do you expect? People, I mean, there's no hope to changing the government through democratic means. What happens to violence? People have nowhere to express, nowhere to channel, nowhere to do things. What happened? The ministers, the politicians become complacent. What matters is how do I do the internal politics? How do I manipulate the system? What that created, it was in fighting with the DPP. And they brought themselves down. Collapse. If you rule for 30 years and collapse over broad daylight, just shows you that it was rotting from the inside, the within. From the inside, the within. I accept, we have to accept people have their different opinions. But that opinion doesn't mean that they have to insult. If they insult you, you have your right to deal with it the way you do. Block that person. Report that, I mean, every country have a law. And that law could be followed. That's what we should do. Guys, thank you very much. It took longer than planned. It's going to the 1 hour. But I needed to put that bit today. Why? I'm talking about myself, my background and so on. Because I'm going to talk about security tomorrow probably, due to other things I have to do. That's why I said my most important thing I do, yes, is coming here because it's resource mobilization. I know how good Gambians are. When I first came out talking, that's where everything happened. People came along because I said things, I brought them in. And there's a lot happening in the country, and we have to walk behind the scenes to prepare, to avoid what is likely to happen. The country is moving in a direction that we have people that have the capacity, people that have the voice, or whatever it is, should be very measured. That's why I am asking again all political parties to be proactive. But that proactiveness, I am asking them to be law-abiding, to be sensitive. But I am asking Gambians have rights to go anywhere. That they are permitted. Public space. Private space, you have to be invited. Thank you very much, guys. And we have a good day, and probably tomorrow come back. And thank you to my Koto Musa Drammeh for at least having the decency to come out and respond. And unfortunately, he actually admitted, I don't know what he was trying to get out of it, but he just did it for us. Thank you. And people asking to do it local languages, this is the problem. If I express myself best in Wolof, speaking publicly, but if I do that, there are other people that will not understand Wolof will not get it. And privately, I express myself in many ways differently. But if I do it in English, almost people, my audience gets it. My audience gets it. And the information is not me to reach to everybody. I can't. I just have an audience, and that what matters about the audience, the quality of my information, and if they choose it and accept it to act on it in different ways, to behave themselves or to take that, to go out there to advocate and other things, that's fine. That's how much I can do. And thank you very much for your feedbacks and everything. Thank you.